As you already know, Throne of Liberty is getting a new weapon. It was teased by both NCSoft and Amazon social media, which confirmed the fact that both Global and Korea will be getting it at the same time, which is a good thing. So I wanted to use this video to discuss the new weapon, the future of my character, and some other cool things that NCSoft already confirmed. In case you didn't figure it out already, the new weapon is the Spear. Is it going to be exactly a spear, or maybe a pole arm, or a glaive? We don't know. But all we know is that it is a stick with a pointy end. Spear was already present in the early closed betas in Korea, as people were able to data mine skins and tooltips, but it was removed from the files and delayed until almost a year later. What date is going to be released is still unknown, but it could be the week after the 7th of December, as this is the day Throne of Liberty released on Korea exactly 1 year ago, meaning the Spear should be released for the 1 year anniversary. From the data mined skins and some of the leaks and rumors from the Korea, the Spear should be a hybrid weapon using both melee and range. At first when I heard it's going to be range, I didn't like it as I pictured Nidalee from League of Legends just chucking spears from range at enemies with the basic attacks. But knowing that Throne of Liberty has a pretty realistic aesthetic with its skins, animations and effects, having a character grabbing a spear, then throwing it at an enemy, then magically pulling out another spear out of its ass would never really fit that realistic aesthetic. So the most likely scenario is that the basic attack will be fully melee, with attack speed slower than Dagger, but still fairly fast compared to the other weapons. As for the ranged part, the Spear will likely follow the general skill design from other MMORPGs, where it's either going to be a bursty weapon or more like a utility/zoning type of weapon, or maybe even both. Having casting abilities is a likely scenario as every single weapon has few of those, while being able to throw a spear and maybe teleport to it could work well with the flow. As long as they are not designing it to be a secondary option for an offhand weapon to replace a dagger, it's going to be good then. I can also see it having a skill that will add a few seconds piercing buff to all spear skills, which pretty much would ignore percentage of defense and damage reduction and be a direct counter to tanks and paladins. But it could be completely different and maybe it's actually a healing weapon. This is all of course wishful thinking and speculation, and we will know more closer to the release. The reason why I'm excited about the Spear is because I am 95% sure that I am swapping my main build to Spear plus Dagger, dropping the Longbow completely. I know this might be unexpected, but hear me out. I've played Longbow Dagger since day one in Korea. I've seen the build change from worst to best to now somewhat decent. And it is decent, but it's becoming very one-dimensional and boring to play. Yes, I am bored of playing Longbow. Before the global release, I was 50-50 on going Longbow Dagger or Greatsword Dagger, but chose Longbow due to much higher experience and knowledge. But now, with this great opportunity, I will be swapping to Spear Dagger. But why a Spear Dagger and not a Longbow Spear? The main reasons are this. First, I really like the Dagger aesthetic, sound design, visual effects, and overall the fast-paced playstyle of dashing around, teleporting, stealth, and using thunder attacks. It's just very pleasing to my eyes and ears, and it's a very strong offhand weapon. Second, I am bored of Longbow playstyle. The PvP consists of using Flash Wave and Tornado, and if you don't use it, you get steamrolled in both large and small scale PvP. I've even tried experimenting and adding more skill points into Dagger specialization, dropping Flash Wave and Tornado and turning it into a ranged assassin. But I would always end up needing to swap back due to the lack of the CC and damage. Especially on a small scale, if you're in a 1v1 situation against another Longbow player and he has a Flash Wave while you don't, it's impossible to kill that player due to insane amounts of healing over time while having weak bursts. Whatever someone says, I just don't enjoy Flash Wave Tornado spam. But any kind of variation I tried struggles against top PvP players. And third, while on the topic of healing, I dislike that Longbow is being slowly but surely turned into a healing weapon. I've even heard some rumors from inside the NCSoft class balance team that they want to make Longbow a main healing weapon capable of solo healing the group without the need to play wand. And this rumor is enforced by the fact that before introducing skill specialization, developers said that they always intended Longbow to be more of a support utility type of weapon rather than pure burst damage. and they completely succeeded in that so far, as Longbow Wand is a very powerful healing build. But I simply refuse to stay positive and hope that it's gonna get better, because I know it won't. While oppressive skills like Flash Wave and Tornado deserve to be nerfed, if not reworked or even deleted, I'd like to see some buffs and changes on other unusable skills like Brutal Arrow, for example. The bottom line is that I need something new, something different, and something more fun. So I'm really hoping that going full melee playstyle can bring back the joy of PvPing and playing Throne of Liberty, instead of just forcing myself to grind for nothing. As of now, I am committed to Spear Dagger without even knowing what kind of weapon the spear will be, which really speaks the volume about how much I started disliking Longbow. I plan to continue updating my Longbow Dagger builds and guides, but this way you also get the Spear Dagger guides and builds. And you can be 100% sure I'm gonna cook something good, like always. The recently mentioned and added battlegrounds have been live on Korea, and thus far, while the feedback has been relatively positive, it does seem like this type of content is completely dead in Korea during their prime time. Now, is this a problem with the region being dead or the game mode being bad? Time will tell. I am not 100% sure if this is the same battlegrounds Amazon teased and mentioned in a Q&A, but if it is, then it doesn't seem like it's going to be a hit on global either. It's basically at max 30 versus 30 versus 30 versus 30 on recycled maps and areas where most of them are from already existing Riftstones and Boomstones. No new area or new maps have been designed for this, which makes sense as it isn't something important that will convince people to play the game. It doesn't seem like there are any rewards for playing in the battlegrounds, and it doesn't also use matchmaking. But one person can create a custom game, and then people from the whole region can join up and form groups. I was hoping that this was going to be fully random teams made through matchmaking with somewhat balanced combat power, but it does seem like the teams could become very unbalanced. I'm also happy that they reworked the rune system and challenge dungeons, which is something we could be getting fairly soon. The change they did to challenge dungeons are almost the same as Lost Ark Chaos dungeons, where you kill mobs to fill up the gauge and then the boss spawns once you reach 100%. It was also increased in levels, where previously you had only 30 levels, now there are 99 levels of difficulty. And the rune system has also been adjusted and changed, but it's more convenient to obtain them, but I won't bore you too much with this for now. And lastly, I want to mention that there will be a new live stream from the NCSoft team and Q&A afterwards, where there is a chance that they answer some of the questions related to global version and not just Korea. It is likely we will see some more details regarding the new weapon. Korea is also getting the new region north of Talandra with new bosses and areas to explore, and they will most likely tease something regarding the 12-man raids and legendary gear that is supposed to come in January, with a likely roadmap for the next several months. My only hope is that they address some of the class balancing issues and try to change and rework some of the skills for every weapon. If you're asking yourself why you should care about the Korea, well, the simple answer is that the global version is eventually getting all of these changes and the new content. In the coming days, I'm going to make a video on how I am preparing for a switch to Spear main weapon, where I'll show you everything I'm stacking up and how the whole process of swapping will be done without spending almost any lucent. So any free-to-play player wanting a swap can also do it. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing and watch some of my other videos appear on your screen.